When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast where if you die in the podcast, you die in real life.
Oh, my God. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm going to live forever, Kyle.
Oh, are you?
If Ecuador can't kill me, nothing can.
You invincible.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today, we're going to talk about my favorite letter of the alphabet.
And my least favorite drink.
Tea.
Tea.
Yay.
Yeah. Thanks, Patreon.
Your least favorite drink?
I mean, no, what's that shit we drank in Chicago? That's the...
Malort?
That's my least favorite thing. But so my second least favorite thing.
I mean, pickle juice is getting a run for its money.
Oh, okay. My third least favorite drink. It's down there. I don't like tea.
Yeah. Okay, great.
But first, happy birthday, Mike.
Oh, thanks.
It will have had been your birthday by the time this comes out.
It will have had been. Mm-hmm. Yes. I love that you got me all these linking verbs for Christmas. Yeah. I'm 45 now.
How are you feeling about it?
45.
Yeah, you feeling right around 45. Well, you have a couple more days of 44.
Yeah.
So live them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
You should.
That's one thing about time, Kyle. It keeps happening.
It keeps going in a forward motion. But yeah, send Mike your birthday wishes, everybody.
Yeah. Normally we would have announced it beforehand so that we could harass you into sending me things, but
I forgot. Yeah. I intentionally wrote down on this one to remind everyone to send you gifts, not realizing that this would then come out after your actual birthday. Yeah. So I did a bad job.
Time is hard. Sorry. It's fine. I get it.
After 6 years of doing this podcast, I still don't know how it works.
Yeah. Well,
here we are.
Okay. We have 100 words.
Okay.
Yeah. So last week, Jacob Rostana used your hole, but he also wants to use my hole.
Okay. He sent in 200 words. We have said you can send in as many 100 words as you want. There's not necessarily a limit.
Yep.
Yet.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Mike.
For my birthday, I got you a gift.
Oh.
I'm not going to read the part that's not the 100 words. Just this one time.
Oh, my God. Hallelujah. Here we are. We finally made it. A joyous day.
Oh, God.
God is among us.
Here we go. Yeah. Oh, so at a certain level of Patreon, if you send in 100 words, I will read them. And if you ask nicely, Kyle might. But it's an underutilized Patreon benefit.
Yep.
So, and just because you've done it before doesn't mean you can't do it again.
Per this.
Right now, today. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. I am Mike. I am a beautiful man who is very worthwhile. I have many amazing friendships, and I bring an important and unique aspect of myself to each and every one. And without me, their lives would be different. I am funny, smart, kind, caring, and kooky. Through this podcast, I have impacted an untold number of people and have helped them to become more true to themselves. I am special, and there's no one in the world quite like me. I have value and am worthy of dignity and respect. I am proud of who I am. Once again, a lovely piece of fiction.
This is great. On your birthday episode, This is the perfect time for you to read some good affirmations about yourself.
Thanks, Jacob.
That's very sweet. And all true facts.
Oh, stop.
You stop.
Great. That's it. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Feedback or corrections? We've gotten some.
Yeah.
A few. Somebody said just like yesterday, please stop talking about J.K. Rowling.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Which I think is fair.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know. We can talk about what we want to.
That's true. And by bringing this up, this is the Barbra Streisand effect. By telling us to stop talking about it and us reading the feedback, here we are again.
Yep.
Someone gave us feedback on like episode 12 or something where we talked about fruit flies. You know, after I think it's like spoiler alerts, like after maybe if it's been over 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Then, I don't know. Just let that one go, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember what the fuck you're talking about.
Right. Well, I mean, that's true of last month's episodes.
That's true. That's very true.
Now the news.
Shut your mouth hole. It's time for your ear holes. News.
Okay, news the first. So Tracy Chapman won a country music award.
Why?
Yeah. So the CMAs were last week, and Tracy Chapman wrote the song Fast Car, which was totally covered by Luke Combs, who is a straight white dude. And that has had this crazy success on the country charts this year.
Oh, Fast Car was a good song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
It is a great song. But what's interesting is a white dude covering her song still makes her the first black woman to top the country charts ever.
What a weird achievement, but an achievement nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. She did not go to the awards ceremony. Instead, she said, quote, "I'm sorry I couldn't join you all tonight." Are you that sorry,
Are
Tracy? Which took place at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena. She goes on. "It's truly an honor for my song to be newly recognized after 35 years of its debut."
35 years.
Wow. "Thank you to the CMAs, and a special thanks to Luke and to all the fans of Fast Car." Yeah, so also, I thought she was an openly known queer person. She's
Me too.
Never publicly said anything about her sexual orientation, but at least according to her Wikipedia article, although Chapman has never publicly discussed her sexual orientation, writer Alice Walker has stated that she and Chapman were in a romantic relationship during the mid-1990s, and Tracy has never publicly disputed that either. So anyway, I think indications are yes. My magic 8 ball says yes.
Yeah.
She knows what vagina tastes like, but
For sure.
Anyway, but yeah. So let's just say queer black woman.
Yeah. I think so.
Number one in the charts. One thing we've sort of talked about that cover of that song, I think, before, certainly personally, if not on the show. And I think it's problematic for the message of that song to be sung by a white dude.
Oh.
But apparently she doesn't agree. She gave blessing to him to cover that song. She's the sole writer and is the sole person that owns the rights to it. So this is not studio shenanigans that led to him recording this song. And he preserved the pronouns of the song, which I think is interesting. If you listen really, really carefully, there's a couple of times when he, a white dude, refers to himself in the feminine. So
That's interesting for like straight dudes always change the pronouns in songs just in case it might seem like they might be gay because they kept the pronouns. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, congrats, Tracy.
Congrats, Tracy.
We appreciate you and your song.
Yeah, and your talent,
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, news the second. Let's see, which one do I want to do? Okay, this is bizarre.
Okay.
News the second. So we had an election last week. Tuesday was an election in a lot of places, but especially here in Washington State. And did you hear that a bunch of election offices received packages of white powder?
Yes.
It turns out that a lot of those, the white powder in those packages that were received at these election offices was fentanyl.
Oh, yikes. I thought it was like baking soda or something. Well, it really was fentanyl?
Well, it was not quite sure what all of the white powder was, but the white powder has tested positive for fentanyl, so it's like, at least it's in there.
Oh, yeah, it's somewhere in the mix.
Yeah, but what I think is crazy, and I got this on The Advocate. I don't know why it hadn't been reported in the local news here. It also included a letter that said, "End elections now. Stop giving power. We are in charge now, and there's no more need for them. Also, be aware your ballot drops are very susceptible to noxious chemicals. They're unsafe to the public. Just saying." And then 3 symbols, including the Progress Pride flag.
What? Don't drag us into this. We're not a part of this.
Yeah.
Don't you throw that in there.
Yeah.
Are we campaigning to end elections? I didn't know that was an issue that we were discussing.
Yeah, the part that I sort of skipped over, it says, "End elections now. Stop giving power to the right that they don't have. We are in charge now, and there's no more need for them." But yeah, it's this. It's a pentagram, which that's a side of like liberal hippie Wicca stuff, and the Progress Pride flag, and then also a symbol that is the anti-fascist emblem.
Huh.
And so what's weird about this too is apparently all three of those symbols sometimes are used by people on the right as a false flag. So it's entirely possible that these are right-wing conservative people who are trying to make it look like the crazy liberal lefties are doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, the FBI and the U.S. Postal Service are investigating, and it was very disruptive. Actually, it disrupted the returns. Took longer than usual because they had to stop counting and evacuate the building because of this shit. So it's not a victimless crime, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll keep watching it. But at least on the surface, it looks like a bunch of angry trans people sent fentanyl to their elections offices. Which I don't know.
I mean, if that's truly what happened, then what the right doesn't do is disavow, like say that's crazy and fucked up, and we don't support that.
Yeah, I don't care who did it. It's fucked up. And
it's fucked up.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. No, we like elections. Fair elections are, I think, a good thing. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm not sure how I feel about fair elections if
that's true.
He who shall not be named gets reelected.
Yeah.
Okay. News the last.
Great.
News the last. Have you been following Pope Francis's shenanigans lately?
No.
Pope Francis, who heads the Catholic Church, you've heard of them.
Oh, yes. I do know about this part, at least, at a minimum.
Has recently made a couple of proclamations that indicate that it is okay for trans people to be baptized and to participate in Catholic Church rituals, things like communion and communion, baptism, etc. Those have a name, sacraments.
Yeah.
So Pope Francis declared that trans Catholics can be baptized, serve as godparents, be witnesses to marriage, as long as it does not create scandal or confusion. Don't know what that means. But also said that adults who identify as trans can partake in Catholic sacraments. And also said that if you're under 18 and are questioning your gender identity, you can still be baptized as long as you are well prepared and willing. And I think that's really interesting. I mean, he quite famously said, like, if somebody is gay and they serve the Lord, who am I to judge or whatever on that airplane back in the day. He's like shown signs that despite being arguably the head dickbag fuckface asshole of an institution riddled with dickbag fuckface assholes, that at least when it comes to LGBT issues, maybe it's self-serving, right? It could just be like, queer people are here and people love us now, so by continuing to be fuckers about it, you're going to drive people away from the church, and y'all are like, your business model's hurting.
Yes, that's what I think. Given Gen Z is the gayest group of generation that we have, and given religion is declining, I think they got to rebrand themselves, for the marketing purposes of their business, or else they're going to go away. So I think they have to make this move.
Yes, absolutely. So the plot thickens.
Ooh.
So Bishop Joseph Strickland of the Eastern Texas Diocese said that he believes that Pope Francis is wrong, that this undermines the deposit of faith, whatever the fuck that means, and that Pope Francis is, quote, a diabolically disordered clown.
Wow. This is your fucking Pope. Didn't God pick this guy to run the Catholic group? Like, isn't that kind of sacrilegious to disparage the Pope?
So on Thursday, November the 9th, Pope Francis asked him to resign. He said, no, I will not resign. So Pope Francis fired him.
Wow.
He has been relieved of his position as head of the Diocese of Tyler, Texas. The announcement came from the Vatican on Saturday, the 11th of November, and said that there was a probe by 2 U.S. bishops, and that that inquiry concluded that his continued leadership would be unfeasible. and recommended his removal. And Pope Francis said, "Yeah, fuck that guy."
Yeah.
And he's been removed. So
Wow.
there's dissension in the ranks in the Catholic Church, Kyle, about trans people.
Trans issues. Wow. That's wild.
Up is down, down is up. Cats and dogs living together. What the fuck? Yeah, that's the news.
That's the news. Speaking of our favorite cats, I want to thank the following new Patreon. I don't know.
Your favorite cats?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, cats and kittens?
Short for Catholics?
Yeah. I want to thank the following Patreon member, Georgie. Thanks for joining, Georgie.
Georgie Puddin' and Pie.
Georgie Porgy?
Georgie Porgy Puddin' and Pie.
Appreciate you. If you want to get bonus content, if you want to use Mike's hole, if you want to get episodes ad-free and a day early, join at patreon.com/Gayish podcast.
Do it.
Ready for some tea?
Let's talk about tea, Kyle.
Let's spill some tea on the tea.
Well, okay, this was our Patreon vote.
Yes.
Which I won, and I'm
You
sorry.
won again. You've been crushing it this year.
Okay, but like you called it. I was not sure. You said boycotts and the other one.
And the other one.
And then I said tea.
Spoons.
And you immediately said tea's going to win. Oh, man. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I was not confident.
But then I looked and we had submitted tea several times before and it lost every time. So this is just, there's a conspiracy out to make me lose no matter the cost.
Yeah.
I blame you, Patreon.
Well, did you know that I actually send encoded messages in the poll text that tells everybody how I want them to vote?
This actually makes sense. Okay. This is all adding up. I knew there was a conspiracy against me.
Also, did you know that I am Q?
No, now I do.
Yeah, great.
You've been leading the shaman or whatever.
Yep, I'm announcing it today, Kyle. I'm coming out of the closet, so to speak.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to me.
Why tea?
Well, okay, so it's been on our list for a really, really long time, which you've mentioned, like it has been in the poll several times, and people have asked for it before.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that comes up in conversation is that tea is just gay coffee. that like there's something fancy and therefore snooty and therefore sort of feminine and gay about tea, at least in American culture.
Yep, for sure. And it's like less strong than coffee, so that gives it like, if it's not as strong, that
it's
makes
weak
it more...
sauce. It doesn't put hair on your chest.
Yep, exactly.
Who wants that?
I don't. I haven't.
Yeah.
We're both drinking coffee as we do this episode on tea.
Fucking hilarious. Coffee with Baileys.
Coffee with Baileys. Yum. And it also means other things. There's lots of tea meanings that tea has, so it makes for a good topic.
Did you ever play T-ball?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's like baseball for dum-dums.
Yeah, I mean for little children who don't have the coordination yet to hit it from a person's hand.
I think we shouldn't coddle the youth of America, Kyle. We're making them all into beta cucks.
Oh yeah,
making it easy for them.
That and participation awards are destroying this country's youth. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Thanks for voting for me again, everybody.
Fuckers.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to you about the history of tea.
Okay.
Great. All right. So, first of all, Kyle, tea is an overloaded term. Did you know it's an overloaded term?
I didn't. Well, I mean, I kind of know that because tea also means, I'm going to talk a little bit about the meaning of tea, like...
Truth?
Kind of. Yeah.
No, I mean actually TEA, like in reference to beverages.
Oh.
So tea is both a plant, like a specific plant, and real tea made from the tea plant is tea. But then there's also just the like sort of overarching concept of like if you put any old random fucking thing in a cup and add hot water and it makes the liquid into a beverage, that's also tea.
Oh, okay. But I think of the latter.
There's lots of teas that are not tea.
Huh.
But tea, the first kind of tea, it's the very specific plant, was first recorded being used as a beverage in China in 59 BC.
Damn, so we've been teeing it up forever.
Yeah, forever. And it almost certainly originated before that. That's just the first written word that we have of it. But yeah, any idea, like I associate tea with like British people.
Yeah, same.
They don't deserve it. So like it was for sure like a Chinese thing, and then spread all throughout Asia. By the 3rd century, it's like all over East Asia, so yeah, the tea plant itself is called Camellia sinensis, and there are a couple of different varieties of it, and that's what actual real tea is. They're native to East Asia, and the Irrawaddy River is probably where it got started. Went into China, Indochina, Assam, and that's where a fuck ton of tea is still made and exported, although it grows all over the place now. So the plant itself wasn't always a beverage. They discovered that you could make a beverage out of it later. They would either nibble on the leaves raw, or they would put it in soups, or they would ferment it into kind of like a little tea pickle, and they would chew on it like chewing tobacco, we chew on that. And like,
why does the soup one sound like the worst option to me? Tea soup?
Well, because tea's like got a very distinctive, like strong, kind of bitter flavor to it. I don't know why you would like want that. Maybe like all kinds of diluted out, it tastes better. But and then like a lot of things that sort of started as a medicinal drink. They're like, you if you're constipated, have this tea, or it would cure all kinds of different ailments, which I think during the Patreon segment, I'm going to talk to you about like all of the different kinds of tea and what they're maybe actually good for medicinally. But yeah, so basically it was the 16th century that we first see it introduced into Europe. And at that time it was called chai, which I know the word chai from Russian.
What's it mean?
Tea.
Oh.
So
chai tea means tea?
Correct.
Huh.
Yeah. But the Della Navigazione e Viaggi was written by Venetian Giambattista Ramusio in 1545, and he describes tea as being this newfangled stuff that he was involved in helping import into Europe. The first recorded shipment of tea by a European nation was in 1607. The Dutch East India Company moved a bunch of tea from Macau to Java, and then they bought a couple of years later bought some tea from Japan and shipped it to Europe. And like the Europeans fucking loved that shit. At first it was just something you would have on special occasions. It was like a Christmas and Easter kind of a drink. But then eventually they just the Industrial Revolution happened and trade improved in such a way that there was like a regular supply of tea that was at their disposal, and everybody started drinking a fuck ton of tea. Guess what country drinks the most tea?
Well, the easy answer would be the UK. So I'm not going to say them. I'm going to say Germany. You
should have gone with your instincts.
The
United Kingdom, it's estimated that 63% of people in the UK drink tea every day, which I would imagine it's at least that, if not higher, in the United States, but for coffee.
Ooh, I have some data.
Great. Excellent. And it's become so much so a thing that afternoon tea is a thing that you do, and I'm going to talk about tea dances a little bit later. But in a lot of places, especially in Britain and India, you say tea when you mean what we would call dinner or supper, the evening meal. Like, what are you going to have for your tea? Oh, meatloaf. That's, number 2 consumer of tea in the world. Guess?
India.
It's a great guess, and it's wrong. Ireland.
Oh.
So it turns out that Irish people drink between 2.7 and 4 kilograms per person per year, which that's like a little under 10 pounds worth of tea, and tea does not weigh that much.
Wow.
They just like snort it or something. I don't know. It's pretty wild. I was going to talk to you a little bit about the different kinds of tea. I don't want to totally go into all of it though because of the Patreon segment. I'm going to cover it more in depth. But what do you know? Do you know what the different colors are of tea?
Oh, green.
Yeah, correct.
That's the only one I know.
If we just say tea and nothing else, just tea, what kind of tea is it probably?
It's brown color.
Good. What's the leaf called?
Oh, I don't know.
Black. Oh. So black tea is the most common tea. If you just say tea and nothing else, that's the default or whatever. But the other kinds it depends on how it's processed. There's white tea, and then the rarest kind apparently is yellow tea because they have to do this whole process to it to like have it turn yellow. I don't quite understand. Green, which you mentioned. There's also oolong tea, black tea, and a kind that I hope to try someday, but it sounds disgusting. Fermented tea, dark green tea that has been allowed to ferment or compost.
Oh,
they call it pu'er.
I never look at my compost and think I would drink that.
I'm gonna stick that in some hot water and drink whatever juice comes out. Oh God. And then okay, so then that's the actual tea plant. Then herbal teas also pop up, and there's lots of different things that you can steep in water, and it will make a beverage. And there's a whole bunch of those too. There's chamomile tea, there's hibiscus tea, there's rooibos tea, which is just bark of this special tree. But yeah, there's lots of different things that you can just mushroom tea anyway. And tea culture has all of these rituals that I think are really cool. Like we kind of have rituals around coffee, but there's like a whole thing about like lumps of sugar and do you put milk in it or not, and how long do you steep it. You can tell people's fortunes by looking at the tea leaves on the bottom of their cup when they're done.
Yeah.
It's been around long enough and has ingrained itself in like people's everyday lives enough that there's like a whole interesting set of like bullshit surrounding it, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're over time we're gonna make up some fake bullshit like astrology if it's been around long enough.
It's absolutely true. Like we've been eating chickens for a long time, so like let's look at chicken bones and figure out your history, your future.
Yeah.
All right. Great. I guess that's it.
All right. Should I tell you about some of the data?
Please do.
Okay. You mentioned that maybe the numbers, what was it, 60% or something of people?
63% of Brits drink it daily.
Okay. This is not the same numbers then. I just looked up if people in the U.S. prefer coffee or tea.
Coffee.
And for ages 65 and up, broke it down by age. Ages 65 and up, definitely coffee. 70% preferred coffee. And how many preferred tea?
30?
20.
Oh.
Even less.
So 10% were just like, fuck both of those.
I guess so. They were just like, nah.
Something I've read several times is like people are very fond of saying that tea is the number 2 beverage in the world compared to plain water.
Oh.
Like, very clever. Shut up.
Come on. For 45 to 64, coffee is at 62% and tea is at 28%.
Okay.
When you get to 30 to 44 ages, coffee is at 50% and tea is at 35%.
It's dying out, Kyle.
So
I'm a dying breed.
Yeah, I guess so, because for 18 to 29, it is tied at 42% for both. So actually, coffee's declining in preference among Americans and tea is growing in preference among Americans.
Okay, I have no data here. You're the one with the data.
Yeah, that's all the data I have.
And my instincts are to think, you young pretentious fucks. You're just doing it because you think it's fancy. You don't actually like it. Shut your holes. But I'm a bitter old queen.
Which is why you drink coffee.
Right. That's right. As God intended.
As God intended, he gave us coffee and he gave us women. A lot of the places that I read said that the health benefits are one of the reasons, which you're going to talk more about, but health benefits came up a bunch as the reason that it may be growing in popularity. And my connection to this is Gen Z, as I said, is the gayest generation.
So gay.
And they have a stronger preference for tea than any other generation.
Great.
So I think these things go hand in hand. I think tea is gay.
Tea is gay, And gay is tea.
Yep.
Sure.
I think so. I mean, the trend lines and correlation means causation.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely means that it's because of the gayness that makes them like tea.
Is it like glitter and it's transing the fish or whatever?
Yes. Tea is transing the teens.
Great. Let's get more tea in the veins of the youth of tomorrow.
Yep. Like IVs into our future.
That's grooming, Kyle.
Tea grooming.
Younger people are drinking more tea.
More tea. Yeah. Tea and coffee are tied among younger people.
What's Starbucks going to do?
I think just serve tea.
Oh.
I think.
They have Tazo, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't pay attention to anything tea because tea is gross.
It's not gross, Kyle.
It tastes like barf sickles.
Wow. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
That's the tea.
That's the tea. All right. Well, you want me to talk about tea dancing?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. Okay, so there's a lot of things, Kyle, where gay people start it and then gay people have fun with it and then the straights take it over.
Oh, yeah.
Not so with tea dances.
Okay,
So
I was going to be surprised because I never heard a straight person go to a tea dance.
straight people started the tea dances.
What?
Yeah, straight people started tea dances in the English countryside a long ass time ago. So when tea became popular in the British Isles after the 17th century or whatever, then the tradition of having a Sunday tea dance got rolling. So there would be a garden party before the dance. They were usually in summer or autumn from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the English countryside. There's this author named J. Pettigrew, and he says that the French, when they colonized Morocco, it was the Moroccans that came up with this as a thing, and that we stole it from them. But however it came to England. It was the Victorians, per usual.
Always the Victorians. In Morocco is the only place I had tea I ever liked.
Oh.
It was a mint tea.
I love mint tea.
It was delicious. It's the first and only time I've ever liked a tea that I've had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get you some mint tea for... No? Okay. I hate shopping, and I hate shopping for Christmas and birthdays.
So if I just gave you the answer...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Get me some mint tea. That's fine.
Great. So there's a book from the Victorian era called Party Giving on Every Scale, which I think is magical. It was published in 1880, and it says that, quote, afternoon dances are seldom given in London, but are a popular form of entertainment in the suburbs, in garrison towns, watering places, etc. Apparently, the Navy would also have tea dances, which that's not gay.
That's pretty gay to me. I mean, but we also know Navy is more gay than other branches.
But the book says, yes. You have tea, and then you dance, and then you blow each other.
Yeah.
The usual refreshments in 1880 out of that book, it was tea and coffee. Even though it's called a tea dance, they would serve coffee.
Okay.
Ices, champagne cup and claret cup, fruit, sandwiches, cake, and biscuits. It was expected that there would be a live orchestra or a small band that would play classical music. Even after record players were invented, it was still expected to be live music.
What kind of classy ass shit is this?
I know, right? And yeah, so when it got gay, was not until the 1950s. So the reason for that is that they got started in New York. We know fairly specifically where it got going in the state of New York, and this is partially what precipitated the Stonewall riots. There was an ordinance or a law that made it illegal to sell alcohol knowingly to a gay person. Mm-hmm. So if you were gay, you weren't allowed to drink, which we should have known that would lead to a riot at some point.
Oh, yeah. Like gay prohibition is not going to go down well.
Right. Yeah. So there were laws. There were laws against serving gays alcohol, and there were laws against people of the same gender dancing with each other. Mm. So the modern gay tea dance started in the 1950s, probably on Fire Island in Suffolk County, New York. And so there were a lot of places that didn't have alcohol licenses, and but were still trying to cater to LGBT communities. So they would have these tea dances. They would serve tea and they would play music and they would let people dance together. Sometimes it would be mixed gender crowds for appearances. So there would be like the gays on one side, the lesbians on the other, and here come the police. Everybody mix it up and look
Dance
straight.
with each other. Yeah. That's really funny. Like, this is when gays and lesbians had to work together.
Right.
as equals, as partners in this, which I fear that we may not be doing that as much these days. Like, we had to be each other's friends so that we could like get by with shit like this.
Absolutely. Marriages of convenience. Let's bring those back if we have to. But I thought this was really interesting. The reason that tea dances are Sundays at 4 is because that allowed the tea dance to wrap up in time for everybody that lived in Manhattan to take the last ferry home.
Oh, no way.
So you would party all weekend on Fire Island, and then the last thing would be the tea dance that would start fairly early in the day and be like before we were doing brunch, it was like proto brunch. But like then the tea dance would be over in time for everybody to run to the ferry, catch the last ferry home. Because Fire Island is
But what if you meet someone there?
Then you got to take them with you.
Oh, yeah, you got to do it on the ferry.
But then by the late 60s, when Stonewall happened, tea dances were being held like all over the place, not just Fire Island, and the timings would be all over the place. Like it could be any night of the week, could be at any hour. But originally, it was very specifically Sunday afternoons, and that was in part because of the ferry schedule. Ferry schedule for ferries.
Oh, the ferry schedule.
So the Suffolk Police Department apparently raided venues on Fire Island searching for same-sex dancers, and tea dances were favored targets for that.
Yeah.
There are some stories of gay men that were chained to poles.
Hot.
Daddy. And the rumor anyway was that the police were doing that so that they could meet their arrest quotas.
Oh.
Basically, tea dances, as we gained more rights and as more of these ridiculous laws against gay people drinking in public or touching each other in dancing, as those got turned over and society became more accepting, the need for tea dances shifted. And a lot of people say that what used to be the function of tea dances got shifted to circuit parties and other evening type events, and that they largely grew out of favor. But there's apparently a bounce back effect. Like tea dances are becoming more popular again, just as an homage to our history, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you been to a tea dance?
No, and I want to now.
Yeah, me too. I've heard of them happening at I think Cuff had them for a while.
Oh.
I haven't heard of it recent. I haven't heard of any tea dances recently, but yeah, I hear of them every now and then as a thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many people know where they come from or why we have them, or if they're just like, what the fuck does that mean? Or
yeah, and how many of them need to catch the last ferry home?
Yeah, exactly. Catching the last ferry home could mean something different if you don't have an actual boat that you need to ride.
That's tea dances. Tea dancing.
Tea dancing. I like that. Thanks for sure. You know what? Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. You're welcome, Kyle.
Now I'm going to tell you about tea, as in
what's the tea?
What's the tea? Spill the tea.
Minority report.
Our
friends.
Yep.
Minority report.
No tea, no shade.
Yeah.
There's lots of phrases that we have around tea, all meaning like the gossip or the rumors or the dirt. And that's what I'm going to tell you about.
Wait, I thought it was all tea, no shade.
No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade.
I thought it was all tea, no shade.
It's no tea, no shade.
No truth? Anyway, go ahead.
No tea, like I'm not like talking shit. I'm not shading anyone.
All right. You're blowing my mind, Kyle. In my head, it was like, there's no shade here. It's all true things.
Oh, no.
It's all tea, no shade.
I mean, maybe someone said that to you in a fit of hilarity.
Incorrectness?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Great.
The earliest definition that I could see on Urban Dictionary was from 2003.
Okay.
Meaning gossip or personal information belonging to someone else. The scoop, news. That's the definition. And the question is, where did it come from?
Where did it go? Where did it come from? Tea in your butthole.
Tea bag Joe. One of the theories is that...
Oh, God. Kyle.
What are we doing?
I took my pills.
Okay.
Just so you know.
we need to talk about pills as an episode, and for neither of us to take our medication that day.
Oh.
And it's just, that.
Good luck, Derek.
It's going to be me being all Eeyore. Mm-hmm. One theory is that it came from women during the 18th and early 19th century who would sit in their porches and gossip while drinking tea.
Okay.
But that's probably not it.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's just one theory. Merriam-Webster says that the first known appearance of the word tea in current slang context came from a 1991 research publication called One of the Children, an ethnography of identity and gay black men by William G. Hawksworth. Yeah. And one of these subjects in the study says, straight life must be so boring because everyone conforms. These gay kids carry on. They give you dance and great tea.
Oh. Maybe they just meant tea? Like
gays give you some good tea to drink?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No, okay.
Yeah, I doubt it. Another early use of the phrase was in a nonfiction novel called Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by... You know this?
I know the name of that book.
Really?
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, yeah.
No, good for you. By
Heinlein? No, I don't know. Who is it?
John Berendt. It's a DT. Berendt. Which is published in 1994. And in it, a popular African-American drag queen, Lady Chablis, says, the fact that I am a beautiful woman is clear, but the fact that I have...
We have a Lady Chablis here in Seattle.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
I think that's...
Her Tina Turner is amazing.
I think she's a copy. I think she's a fax of that.
The facts of life.
The facts.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and you get a drag queen.
She says, the fact that I'm a beautiful woman is clear, but the fact that I have, well... That's my T. That's my truth. So the idea was that the T was the letter T standing for the word truth.
That's what I thought it was.
It might be. And so perhaps it came from gay black culture. Perhaps it came from drag queens. It was definitely popularized and spread in part thanks to RuPaul's Drag Race starting in 2009. So that helped its widespread popularity. In 2014, there was a ad featuring Kermit and tea, which then became a meme. Have you seen the meme?
Yeah, he's like drinking Lipton right out of the pitcher.
Yep, and it says that's none of my business. So, yeah, that's tea as in gossip and where it came from.
Okay, all right, okay.
Probably gay black men and or drag queens or both.
Yeah, God bless gay black men. Like, if it weren't for them, we would have no culture.
Right. That's where all the culture, that's where all the language specifically comes from that culture. And I sometimes feel weird about, like, I think a lot of people appropriate the language that they hear from gay black men. But I don't know, at one point it becomes public fair use.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't.
Yeah. Right. I don't know. I mean, let's two white dudes. Let's talk about this, Kyle. I tend to believe that language is language, and that usage is what matters, and that, like, once it's out in the ether, it's no longer yours. Like the dude that invented GIFs says it's called GIFs. Fuck that guy. Doesn't matter. They're GIFs. Deal with it. Yeah. Like, just because it came out of your mouth first doesn't mean that you own it or have a right to, like, decide how it's used or not.
Yeah.
So, and I think that there are lots of things that we say that, if you trace it back, come from black men. And it's nice to, like, know that and have that in mind. And maybe if you can make an attribution, make an attribution. And if you hear something funny at the bar and then you repeat it, I don't think that that's, like, an egregious affront. You've not committed a crime or anything, right?
Yeah, I just think it plays into, like, a lot of things were stolen from, like, gay black culture, and then other people make money off of it. The white people then make money off of it, or like, it becomes acceptable when white people do it. So I don't know, you're right that maybe this specific example isn't the best one of that, because language does belong to everyone, or
it's less of a bright line than when like Elvis steals and copies "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog" from a black woman and passes it off as his own work. That's egregious and awful and horrible. And there's plenty of examples of shit like that going on. To be too worried about like whether saying "girl, that's some tea" is like appropriating black culture or not. I don't know. I
just think sometimes some gay people put on this kind of language, like lingo, that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Like just "girl, that's some tea, let me and start talking in a way that feels like gay black men talking, and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
I get that.
Because I'm like, is this okay?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true too. Like if you take on a caricature, if you take on a persona, and that's like clearly a constellation of things that's derived from a racial archetype, that's a problem.
But isn't that what we do? I think that's what happens a lot of times.
Maybe.
Like, you're right that at some point it becomes public and everyone can use it. But isn't it like the first time a white person takes the lingo and starts using it? Like, when there's like that middle ground before it's popularized, when it's first taken, that feels, I don't know. How do you get to that point where it's popularized and everyone can use it without going through the phase of, oh, this is uncomfortable and shouldn't be done?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know.
I have decided for myself, it would be putting on some kind of person that I'm not to start talking like that to. And sometimes I might get gayer and say, I don't know. I don't think I've ever said the word tea in earnest.
Right. Yeah.
I might say it like, I don't think I've ever said the word tea just in my everyday language. And so I just don't. So to all of a sudden have like a different conversation style would be me putting on, I would have to try to do that.
Yeah. That makes sense. So don't do it.
Yeah. That's what yes, that's my point. Yeah, that's my point. That's where for myself personally, that's where I'm if the word comes to me naturally and it's a natural thing that I'm saying or language I'm using because I've heard it from other people or what have you, or just enters my vernacular, then I'll roll with it. If it's putting on some kind of farce, then I won't do that.
Yeah.
Which sometimes makes me feel a little bit left out, because I think it's fun to like talk all gay and be a little bit queeny and be like, girl, what you up to? Like, I don't know. But so sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on that kind of way of talking.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's like all things culture, participating in it breeds a sense of community or belonging or inclusion or something.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. I was gonna say, I have a tendency to like adopt the speech patterns of whatever group I'm with, and it happens like automatically. Like I remember this time I was in college and we were hanging out with these people from Mississippi. And one of my friends took me aside and she was like, you need to stop talking like that. Like whatever you're doing is offensive. Like it's not great. I was like, oh my God, she's right. I'm like totally just adopted a Mississippian accent because we were hanging out with these people. And I don't know, like I think it can happen accidentally sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're hanging out with the right group of people, and like sometimes it can just like, at least for me, I'll just speak for myself. It can just like start coming out of me without even really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'm going to be able to. I have ADD, girl. I can't like. I can't pay that close attention all the time.
Yeah. Have you ever said the word tea?
I don't think so. Language? But clearly, I don't understand it. If I think it's all tea, no shade. There's something wrong with me.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Should we talk about now if tea is gay?
Yes.
Okay. So I looked at Reddit.
Great.
So this is a little bit of an Ask Reddit, and there was a post that was on the subreddit Pointlessly Gendered, which I love that's a subreddit. Yeah. I love the fellas, is it gay to fill in the blank kind of things. Those always tickle me because we do this all the time with so many things.
Yep.
And this one, the subject is, fellas, is it gay to drink tea? Parentheses, gendered.
Great. Gendered tea? Or is it gendered to drink tea?
Gendered meaning like, yeah, is this topic is gendered.
Great.
The text was, my coworker and I were talking about tea. He was starting a sentence with something like, women, like my wife, who drink tea, then stopped and corrected himself. Or men, I suppose. Now that I think about it, I drink more green tea than coffee. So apparently it's a stereotype. Men equals coffee, women equals tea.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
I don't know where that comes from, but I definitely have it. I think that's an American thing. I don't think that that's a attitude or belief or an intrinsic thought that happens to non-Americans.
Yeah, well, the whole game of is it gay or European?
Yeah.
Like that applies to tea.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
Because I would not flinch if a British dude was like, I had a spot of tea, pip pip, or whatever they say.
That's exactly what they sound like.
Yeah.
But then also, Italians don't drink tea; they drink coffee. That's my felt sense. So maybe it's not all of Europe, because Italians are pretty gay.
That's true. Are you thinking clothing?
Yeah.
And the way do they kiss you on the cheeks when they meet you?
Okay, so everybody in Argentina kissed on the cheeks to say hello, and even in the office.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's nice to be touched by a man," because I'd been out of town for like 2 weeks.
I would be like, wait, this isn't a trick to get me fired, is it?
Right.
Like, is this a trap? Is someone going to take a picture when I'm mid-kiss with someone? And
yeah.
Because if I met someone at work and they kiss me on the cheek, I would be like, oh, we're both fired now.
Right.
Like, I should just leave because it's automatic.
Oh my God, is it that easy? There's so many people I should start kissing on the cheek.
So, yes, I have the same kind of felt sense that for some reason,
unless it's iced and has a fuck ton of sugar in it, then you're just in Texas.
Iced tea?
Yeah.
That's true. Like, yeah, that doesn't
Sweet
count. Yeah. But like iced tea is sweet tea. You have to ask for it unsweetened if you don't want this.
Not here, man.
Yeah.
Order an iced tea in Seattle. You're going to get tea that has ice in it.
Yeah. Not like Lipton.
Not with like diabetes included.
Some of the answers to this Reddit post were, I have never drunk a single cup of coffee, but I have been drinking tea for years. Never been too interested in other men, though. So at least one person is not gay and drinks tea.
Great.
One person said, tell that to Captain Picard. Tea.
Earl Grey. Hot.
Mm-hmm. I thought you'd appreciate that.
Tea. Earl Grey. Hot. Yeah.
Does he drink a bunch of tea? But he comes off.
No.
Oh.
Specifically Earl Grey.
Okay.
Hot.
Okay.
And that's what he says to the replicator to get it to make his tea for him. Do you know that Earl Grey, that weird Earl Grey flavor isn't tea, it's bergamot?
I don't know what that is.
It's like they add shit to it to make it taste like that.
Do you mean Birkenstocks?
Yes. They grind up used Birkenstocks and put them in little tea bags.
Used Birkenstocks just sounds so dirty.
They are. The dirtier, the better.
Ew.
That's how you know it's good.
Ew. Someone says it's not gay unless the tea bags touch. Someone else says this is Europe versus Americas. Never been about gender, which we talked about. Someone says,
I do wonder if there's something about, like, I don't know, the Boston Tea Party and how, like, that was the British thing to do, is drink a bunch of tea, and then they, like, tried to, like, overtax us for our tea, so we threw it all into the harbor, which that was dumb. Why did we do that? But then I wonder if there's, like, an association there of, like, tea equals British, and fuck those guys, so we don't do that because we're Americans.
I wonder if that killed all the fish.
Oh, maybe.
You know, you throw a bunch of tea, like, if you licked the water, would it taste like tea?
Or did it just make them hyperactive? There's like caffeinated fish. Zip, zip, zip.
Oh, you eat the fish then?
Yeah.
We're Britishing the fish. Someone else said, I drink coffee in the morning and tea all day. Judging someone for what hot bean water or hot leaf water they imbibe is wild.
Yeah.
So people had some good answers to, like, I mean, but everyone is like, yeah, like, joking about it and being like, no, there's no, but like the stereotype exists. We can't pretend like it doesn't exist out there.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, there is something uniquely American about like, no, we drink coffee and black coffee for dudes and and iced coffee is for gays. Yeah. So like,
and pumpkin spice lattes are for white women.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of like, you have to drink the right thing or you might be gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is our way of saying drink whatever you like.
Drink what you want, man.
Yeah. Life's too short.
Life's too short. Drink shit.
Drink the shit you want to drink.
Yes, there you go.
Don't drink shit. Yeah.
Did we do it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we talked about the main meanings of tea.
We talked about tea.
Why? Okay. But why are there so many variations of tea and why is every version of it gay? Tea dances are gay. Tea the drink is gay. Tea talking about shade is gay. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot
teabagging is pretty gay.
Oh, teabagging's so gay. Sometimes straight dudes will joke about teabagging and be like, that's hot. Like you don't want to joke about that with me. Yeah. Yeah. Tea is just an all-around gay thing.
God, it's such a frat guy thing. Like, I'm going to put my testicles on that boy's forehead. Isn't that hilarious?
That's pranked you or whatever. Like, but is it just coincidence that all these different variations of tea all mean something gay? Or are they connected somehow? I don't think I found a connection between any of these as we were talking through it.
No.
I think it's just coincidence.
It might just be coincidence. I still think that like tea equals fancy equals feminine equals gay is the like connection.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But
yeah. But I think we did it.
Great.
We
did it. Do you want more coffee?
Yes, please.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. Coffee break.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Do you know your Gayest and Straightest?
I do.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah. Sorry, we'll be back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
We are on socials at Gayish Podcast. If you don't follow our Instagram, every week, Derek posts a question to post your Gayest and Straightest. So follow that for either posting your Gayest and Straightest or following other people's.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, especially if it's your Gayest and Straightest, because we love voices, is 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109. Kyle!
Mike!
We got so much shit.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
What? Oh, God. Where are you going? Aww. It says a happy birthday to me. Oh, it says happy birthday, Mike, right on it.
Yep.
Hooray.
This is for me.
Yay. When Brooklyn Was Queer by Hugh Ryan, a winner of the New York City Book Awards.
It was on the same list as the Gay New York.
Gay New York, yeah.
Like similar kind of things.
Which I haven't finished yet, but I plan to. And I have more time for reading now because I'm home.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about cocaine tea.
Oh, should we have? You have some now.
I have some. It's in the kitchen. I haven't made it yet. I'll report back.
Okay. Excited to hear about this.
But yeah, I was in Ecuador, and that's very high in altitude in Quito. It's like over 9,000 feet, and like altitude sickness is a thing. And apparently cocaine leaf tea is supposed to help with that. And they just like offer it. It was just, I was at the vegetable stand, and I was like, do you have any cocaine tea? And she was like, oh yeah, here you go.
I'm surprised you brought it back.
Well, yeah, not supposed to. But totally did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Kyle.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
No problem.
It's a book. It's about gay shit. It's about history. It's magical.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
We got a whole bunch of stuff in the mail.
Okay. Let's see.
Failure is not
an option.
It's not an option.
Not an option.
By Patrick Hines, how the chubby gay son of a Jesus-obsessed lesbian found love, family, and podcast success and a bunch of other stuff.
This is
Great.
awesome.
Oh, it's signed on the inside too. September 28th to 23. Mike, from one gay podcaster to another, thank you for your wonderful content. I hope this makes you laugh. Heart, Patrick. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.
I have more books to read. And we always, when we open gifts, we always video it and post it. So like
to Patreon.
Yep. Okay. Next is this one. Go for it.
This feels like a book Ooh, it is Masculinity in Transition by K. Allison Hammer.
Oh. Masculinity in Transition, a major intervention into masculinities studies masculinity in transition brilliantly and consistently pushes the field toward a critical understanding of masculinity as a complex gender formation. K. Allison Hammer undertakes nuanced readings of a wide array of texts to offer a new understanding of masculinity and the ways in which it both serves and subverts hegemonic social, sexual, and racial hierarchies.
That sounds perfect for us.
Sounds perfect for us.
The types of things we talk about.
Yeah, we're going to add it to our growing library of gay shit.
Our library's getting pretty big and pretty gay.
Yeah. And last but not least, Kyle.
The biggin.
This is from Joe in Dallas.
Oh, Joe in Dallas. You're too kind to us.
I think about 3/4 of the dildos I own are from Joe in Dallas.
The other is from Rudy.
Oh, he let me know that this is for fucking Dan.
Oh,
It's a like a patch, like a Boy Scout patch, but it's a teddy bear and it says "choke me."
there is a Skin and Coat dog treats in here. There's a bunch of stuff in here.
This bag says Derek.
There's a jock strap from Bear and Bone. There is a Lisa Simpson Treehouse of Horror highlighters. There is Villains, little book of, oh my god, this is a little makeup with a mirror and
it's different eyeshadows for different Disney villains.
For different Disney villains.
That's magical.
And more makeup, Simpson style makeup.
I got a t-shirt and it says, "I believe you'll find that rule clearly spelled out on page fuck you, I'm the dungeon master." It's absolutely true. Let's see. And then this looks like a jockstrap probably. Yeah, jockstrap. Also from Bear and Bone. We're going to have a jockstrap party. And then Melinda's Set Your Mouth on Flavor Mini Liquid Spice Rack, a curated collection of travel-sized craft pepper sauces and condiments. Black truffle hot sauce, ghost wing sauce, Thai sweet chili sauce, fire roasted hot sauce, cayenne red hot sauce, habanero honey mustard, XX hot habanero, green sauce, pizza hot sauce, and Mexicana hot sauce. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
It's a whole Hot Wings challenge in a box.
Oh, yeah.
Basically. Merry Christmas, Joe.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Gayest and Straightest?
Nope. Local gay bar review. I'm going to make this one quick. So I've reviewed this bar before, but I went back. I went to Pump Jack, which is in Vancouver, right there on Davie Street. And this time, unlike last time, there was a shower show.
Oh, wow. Shower show's getting into the mix again.
And this time, the shower show was like a bear-y dude. He was not who you would think would be taking a shower in the shower show. And I enjoyed that. And the bartender was super cute. Per usual, it's Vancouver, so it's a little spendy, but I had a lovely time at Pump Jack. 3.5 dildos.
3.5.
That's a solid, like, you should go there rating.
Yeah, this is not like Uber rules where it's 5 or nothing.
Right.
This is actually using the star system to what it should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yep.
A couple of programming notes and then we'll do our Gayest and Straightest. So first, please submit your address in Patreon. You do have to go to the desktop and go to patreon.com in your browser on a computer. The mobile site won't do it and the app won't do it. But add your address to your profile because I'm going to send out Christmas cards and that's the only way that I can do that. Speaking of Christmas, send us your Christmas gifts and or nudes.
Yeah. Maybe both.
Maybe both. And then lastly, I'm super excited about this. We're for sure going to have the Dickbag Fuckface Asshole Awards for 2023. And the way that we're going to do it is I'm setting up a Facebook poll. So if you go to facebook.com/gayish podcast.
That's our page.
Groups. Facebook.com/groups/gayish podcast. Look for the poll and you can either vote for one of the pre-nominated Dickbag Fuckface Assholes from the show or feel free to nominate somebody you want to, even if it's your neighbor Karen. I don't care.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
And whoever wins.
Yep.
And the winners are going to be announced at our last show of the year coming up December 28th.
Yeah.
So go there and vote.
Vote. Make your voice heard about all the dickbag fuckface assholes in our lives.
Now our Gayest and Straightest.
Okay, great.
Go for it, Kyle.
My Gayest is getting a latte this morning because even though it's not tea, lattes are gay coffee.
Yeah, they are gay coffee.
My Straightest is I watched like 30 minutes of the Texas football game.
Wow. On purpose?
Yeah. I went to hang out with a friend, and one of the stated goals was to watch some of the game.
Okay, well, if it was begrudgingly, then I guess you
I wore my Texas hoodie, which I hadn't worn in forever.
I didn't.
Smelled weird.
I didn't know you had one.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. It's from college. Yeah.
Hook 'em, horny.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
What about you, Mike?
The straightest thing about me this week is playing Starfield. So I've been a little under the weather and recovering from Ecuador still, and I've been playing video games on my Xbox, and Starfield is the one that I've been doing, and it's just I do a lot of shooting things. Like, it's very straight, just shoot stuff.
Does it take place in a field of stars?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, okay.
It's Bethesda, so it's like, I don't know, Skyrim and Fallout, but in space. Anyway.
That will certainly be helpful to someone.
And then the gayest thing about me this week is playing Starfield and trying desperately to marry the one hot dateable male character in the game. He will be mine. Listeners, Gayest and Straightest this week comes to us from another Kyle.
Lesser Kyle.
Yeah.
From Boston.
Kyle from Boston.
Hi, Mike and Kyle. This is Kyle from Boston, Massachusetts. I just wanted to call to leave you guys my Gayest and my Straightest for the week. I would say that my straightest thing that I did was passing out candy on Halloween. I live down the street from a school in my neighborhood, so it was really nice to be, like, domesticated, I guess, and just sit there and hand candy out to people. I think my gayest was my boyfriend. He's in med school, and he had 3 exams this week, so to congratulate him on finishing all of his exams, I sent him a couple whole pics. Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks. Love you guys. Bye.
Aw, thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle. Congrats on finishing your exams. Here's a hole.
Yeah, I think celebratory hole picks are to be encouraged for the most part. Don't get any ideas.
Yeah, no. Is that it?
I think that's it. Thank you to all the tea drinkers in the world.
Yeah, i.e. Europeans.
Yeah.
And gays.
And people from the deep south who are getting diabetes.
Yeah. And also, thank you to our super gap bridgers at our highest level. I will read your name on every episode. Thank you to Kaylee Adams, Kid Oliver, Andrew Bugby, William Bryant, John Crowley, Stephen Portio Stossel, Harry Shaw, Jonathan Montanias, Wadu, Forrest Nail, Patrick Martin, James Barrow, Steve Douglas, Explosive Liana, Michael Covington, Just Jamie, Kevin Henderson, Thomas P., Timothy Sora, Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Kajatorians, and Jerome York. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your money. Yeah, that's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatore Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. See you next week.
See you on Lipton's next week? No.
Yeah, sure. I thought you were about to cough. I was giving you the pause to... Oh, yeah. You didn't have to, but...
I mean, never look a gift cough in the mouth.
Yep.